How's everyone doing? It's Chaz. It's the wonderful, it's the controversial, it's the honest, it's the hard-talking West Ham Minds channel. So I hope everyone is well. What are we, Thursday? One more day to go, everyone, till the weekend. Although, yeah, got an international, isn't it? Which I don't really look forward to. But, yeah, it is International Week. So not going to be too worried about what's going on there. But we do have, one or two bits to discuss today, including the breaking news regarding Mark Noble. So we'll be discussing Mark Noble coming back into the club and the position he's coming back into, and trying to understand what does this sporting director role mean, because it's one that confuses a lot of people. We don't know exactly what it means. It can differentiate between club to club. So, yeah, we're having a little bit look at that. And then we'll be trying to see, how the role's going to be going for him, how he fits in, how that affects perhaps David Moyes or the next manager or whatever. And then we'll be looking at David Moyes. Obviously, the next 3 games are going to be crucial for him. And we're going to be asking ourselves and trying to discuss with you guys in the chat, what will David Moyes change in the next 3 games? Because he has to. I don't think... Listen, we've seen some crazy things in football, and David Moyes is one of them sometimes. But he has to change something. What's it going to be? Is it going to be the tactics? Is it going to be the formation? Is he going to perhaps bring another number 2 in alongside, what we've heard today? Let me know in the chat, because something has to change. Something has to change, everyone. So let's see what's going on. It's Ryan. Ryan, how you doing, mate? You all right? Hope everything's well. Governor's in there. Governor, how you doing? All right, mate? I got my orange squash today. I just quickly had some chicken and potatoes. And then, should I admit something? I had 4 Maltesers before coming live. I just fancied some chocolate, went into the chocolate drawer, cabinet, whatever. And I cheekily had 4 Maltesers, everyone. Get in there. So do I, mate. So do I, mate. I don't know what he's going to be doing, mate. Yeah, let's share my screen, eh? I don't know what he's going to be doing, Epic. You let me know, mate. You let me know. Let the chat build up, and then we'll be looking at what we think he could be doing, what sometimes the remit of the sporting director is, mate. Yeah. It's all going to be fun and games, mate. Hello, Dan. Dan, my man from the US. Some good news for Dan. I think he's going to be coming to the UK early next year, aren't you, Dan, mate? So hopefully we'll link up with you. Go to game at least and that kind of thing, mate. Definitely. Smeagol, hope you're doing well, mate. Hope you're doing well. So let's go through the news today. Mark Noble taking up sporting director role. I'm quite surprised. I had a feeling that he would take some time off, which he has, but how much has he taken off? The season finished not so long ago, so he's more or less just taken the typical summer off that players had, and another 3 weeks on top of that. I don't understand it. I thought he would have taken like a season off and then come back. And I didn't think he's going to come back in this role, because I think this role is nearly full time. I think. But then even then we hear news of Karen Brady. She's always part-time with full-time bonus and full-time earnings, especially when that kind of apprentice is shot. She's hardly around. Well, the work shows that anyway. So I thought he'd come back in an ambassador role, that kind of thing. Like Bobby Charlton and Man United used to do, 1 or 2 other players. Yes, I'm not too sure. Yeah, we're coming to that in a minute, mate. But let's kind of quickly go through this. So he starts his post 2nd of January, 2023. Again, I hope he hasn't been drinking too much over the New Year, Christmas Day, and that kind of thing. And he's a bit hungover, mate, like I am most of the time. 550 appearances, 18 years. Set to continue a new position. Work closely in support of manager David Moyes. Could that be, everyone, that the board has realised? Not saying this could be a very small reason of what's happening, is kind of feeling David Moyes a bit stubborn in some of the things he does, and the board can't quite get their message through to him. So will they use Noble? Sort of tell Noble first, so Noble will be a go between the board and David Moyes if he's still there. Listen, I don't. Well, the board want him to stay. I think this season, I don't think we're going to be anywhere near matching the previous 2 seasons. But let's assume David Moyes is there when Mark Noble starts, so he'll be like a go in between the two, I suppose. And he will be providing, working with the board of directors. There we go, providing input, advice, assistance across all aspects of the football operation, including but not limited to academy development, player recruitment, player and staff well-being. Well, that one we know he did anyway, didn't he? So the player and staff well-being, we know he does that anyway. There's no new special training for that. Academy development. The problem with that, because he hasn't got his football coaching badge, and I don't really think he'll do it. But again, I could be wrong. That's just going to be. Well, it depends, isn't it? Does that mean like, all the people in the academy will report into Mark? I don't know. You got people like Kevin Keane who do the under 23s, under 21s. Will they continue reporting into David Moyes? Player recruitment. Now, this is tricky for me. Player recruitment, right. We'll go into a bit more what I think this will mean. I'm guessing this won't mean exactly him going on scouting missions. I think it doesn't mean it. Or will the scouting team report into Mark? I don't know. I suppose David or the manager will always sort of have the number one saying who they want. And we'll go into a bit later on, but I think that'll probably mean that in terms of managing and closing deals off, which has been an issue at the club, taking so long to close deals off. Will he manage the financial side of things, making sure the deal's done? I don't know. And he'll be based between the 3 principal sites: London Stadium, Rush Green and Chadwell Heath, age 35. Okay, so I didn't realise. So this summer, Mark Noble travelled to the US and, completed an entertainment, media and sports business leadership course at Harvard Business School. So I wonder how much that cost, though. Probably out of his own pocket, but there we go. Yeah, can't wait to get started. Great honour, 24 years, wanted a bit of a break. But I didn't realise that bit of the break would be, a couple of months, isn't it? I thought it'd be out for a bit longer. Great opportunity to make a contribution. David Moyes is happy to have him here. COVID-19 really helped the club. Full support. David Sullivan, quote from him: welcome in, fabric, senior role, familiar, knows the staff. Strong link between the football operation and the wider club. On behalf of the board, we wish him the best. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Go up a minute. Oh, God. You know what I'm like with the chat. There we go. Right. Amared. Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely. You got a long time. You got 5 months, didn't you, mate? Plan it and everything. Yeah, we'll definitely get together, do 1 or 2 things, mate. Definitely, mate. Listen, if you got the money, you can do a course anywhere, mate. And I don't know how much that would have cost, because obviously Harvard traditionally is up there as one of the best universities in the world, alongside our very own Oxford, Cambridge. But these courses must be the ones they lay on for extra income, and where some corporate directors perhaps go. So might have been a bit of a 2-3 day or a 1 week course, or with a few dinners and lunches thrown in there, and then you obviously can stick that on your CV and the words Harvard will stand out, mate. That's what it's about. But I hope you're well, Adam. Should we go into it? Let me read the comments and we go into it, because I found this article very quickly and we'll go into it. Yeah, we'll go into it very quickly, what we think it will mean. You don't know, mate. Maybe Karen's going, mate. Maybe Karen's going English, Hardy. How you doing, naughty boy? What are you doing? Bit early for you, isn't it? I still haven't seen that. Robert. Bloody hell, I got to see that, mate. Still haven't seen it. Will it make a change to the training facilities? I don't know. I hope so, Peter. That's the least they can do, isn't it, mate? I hope so. I don't think he's got the coaching badges and things like that, Hammerhead. Yeah, I did hear that the betting companies shortly, I think that all the teams voted against them sort of being any sponsors in the future, which I think is right. If alcohol, tobacco companies can't advertise, why should they? And it's everywhere. You turn the radio on, you turn the TV on, halftime, before the match, after. It's all betting advertisements everywhere, mate, everywhere. It's only 2 months, though, isn't it, Governor? With his money, would have gone down the Caribbean, a few cocktails on the beach, mate. Come on. Take a year out, mate. But everyone's different, mate. Everyone's different. Yeah, you need to go in between, mate. He don't listen, does he, old Moyes? Oh, Robert. Okay. Fair enough, mate. Don't know about that. Yeah, I'm surprised he came back because he did, Ginger. I thought he was going to take a little bit of an extra time out, mate. Yeah, and I recommend doing the tour of Oxford. Did it a couple of years ago on the open tour bus. Really interesting. Many famous leaders have been there, including, I remember, was it Bill Clinton's been there? Maybe Boris has been there as well. So, yeah, lots of history. Great city, Oxford. Done a Cambridge tour as well. Punting, is it, through the boats and stuff? Lovely, mate. Oh, was it full 5 days, mate? Full on, isn't it? Full on. I'm not surprised, mate. Yeah, I'm not surprised. They've everywhere, isn't it, these people, mate? Oh, come on. How many of those we got, mate? Not a West Ham, mate. We all like a good drink. Anyway, let's have a look at this, though. Understanding the role of sporting director. So I'm just gonna, so let's go to this bit. So responsibilities might vary. Here are some typical key priorities. Support the manager in the first team. That's kind of quite easy, isn't it, to look at? Yeah, support the manager in the first team. That's something easily he'll do. It's what he's been doing, and they're very familiar with him. Have a good relationship with the owner and every other employee. I think he's got that in abundance with the owners. So that's, again, I don't think he's got an issue with that. Employ head of departments. This is going to be the tricky one for me. What's going to go under his remit, his management, and not David Moyes? That's going to be key for me, in terms of the academy, the scouting. I don't know. Create, implement, and oversee a clear playing philosophy across all teams. The academy will often have the same playing style as the first team. What, will you tell him to play better football, Willie? That's going to cause a bit of an issue, isn't it? Or change tactics. I think he's going to send messages from the board to David Moyes and try to put his arm around David, get him drunk and make him sign documents. And I don't know. And this is see the next one. Look, develop and maintain an excellent scouting network. So Rob Newman's going to report under him, is he? I don't know. You'd be lucky, mate. You'd be lucky. Yeah, mate. Yeah, that's what I've been told. I've got to watch that, mate. Every time I try to do it, something else happens, mate. Don't know, mate. Yeah, you can join in, mate. I'll send you the link. Yeah, you can join in. 1 minute. Let me send you the link, young man. You know what I'm like. Get out of that. Da, 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 da. Sending it now to the naughty gang. All right, just doing it now. Won't be a minute. And then there we go. Right, back on. Sorry about that. So the link's been sent to the naughty boys. Right, let's catch up. Right, cool, Ryan. Come in, mate. Yes, it's a bit tricky because you remember Coca-Cola always the official Olympic sponsor. Figure that one out, mate. I think it's up to the individual. Advertise what you want, but I don't want too much of one thing. All I hear is just bet everything and nothing else. That's what I'm complaining about. Bloody hell, mate, you know? It will remind me of a little cold beer advert, mate. Nice, nice. Yep. Good to see Nobly back again. Yeah, how you doing? You all right?
You all right?
Yeah, not bad. What are you up to?
Just finished work, and I thought I'd just jump on quick.
Yeah. I think
I got it.
It
at lunch that you joined. I was like, oh, that's quite good. I thought, might get us all into gear, so it's not too bad. But at the same time, I don't really know what a sporting director does, like you.
Well, what I've done is I've looked at these website, and yeah, we understand it's supporting the manager. Again, it's a generalization, so every club is different. Supporting the manager is fine. A good relationship with the owner and every other employee, that's fine. This is a tricky bit for me and you. Well, Ginger Carol's going to come in a minute, but employ head of departments. So I want to know who's going to report into him and not David Moyes. So that's going to be interesting. Create, implement, oversee a clear playing philosophy across all the teams, including academy. And the one you'll be interested in is develop and maintain an excellent scouting network.
That'll be obviously he'll be good at that. But I just hope that he can be good for Rice in that role still. Because I still don't see Rice as our captain without Noble there.
Yeah, he's going to need help. But yeah, we need a couple of leaders in the next couple of windows.
Yeah.
Be in charge of player logistics, in brackets, meaning buy and sell in the market.
It's a very weird role to give him, I think. Still, I think.
Do you know that's Tottenham? I forgot. It's Tottenham guy called director of football. Is it director of football sometimes, and now we're calling it sporting? I don't know.
I don't know. I think there might be. I don't know. There might be different. But
you remember they said that Dutch guy, didn't they? Spurs 4 or 5 years ago.
Chelsea had Petr Cech, didn't they, as their sporting director? But I don't really know what he done, really.
And then you've got that guy at Arsenal who's quite useful. Used to play for them, and he's doing that.
But then is this another thing that GSB have just put it in to maybe think the fans that they're trying to do something? That's the problem.
And the other one is overseeing the performance departments, make sure the academy players have the necessary tools. So will that mean Rob Newman reporting into him? That's going to be a bit tricky for David, perhaps. Yeah. I think he's going to. I mean, the timing's a bit weird how David's entering such a crucial period, isn't he, of confidence, board. And I think they've got to be something, I don't know. Something's not right. I don't know. They're not happy with something, but they don't want to get rid of him either. And they're trying one last thing, I think.
Yeah. But, I mean, I'm still Moyes out, so it doesn't really matter what happens. I still don't think he should be at the job.
There's two things to that. One is when you look at the players that are in, if you plays them, bloody hell, we can't struggle with that number of players that are in there, you know?
We can't at all.
But How'd you go from one extreme to the other? Like you're not doing anything at the moment. You're not improving any of the players from last year who's still crap. You're not playing any of the ones that have come in, and the ones that are playing that come in, they're crap as well at the moment on form. But they weren't crap when you bought them. But why are they crap now?
It's probably because they've come to the club thinking, you know what, I'm gonna start. Like Paqueta, Paqueta and Skamaka have come. Oh, I'm gonna be a big player for this team. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna show what I can do. And then Skamaka's sitting on the bench, watching. Well, we could play Antonio out wide, but watching like Bowen and Fornals up top. Fornals runs with a limp when he plays, and he's looking at him thinking, "Why the fuck am I not on the pitch?" That's what I'd be.
This is a good point. The PR. I mean, obviously, our show a couple of days ago and a weekend, we're obviously losing the plot against David. This is kind of come in and trying to cover it all up, in it. Bit of good news, change the direction of what we're thinking. But the cards are running out, mate. The cards are running out. I don't know what they're going to do next. It's a bit weird. He's don't start till January, so it doesn't matter, does it? For a while, he's not starting. You know,
no, it doesn't mean anything.
It is a PR stunt, Mr. Mace. Well spotted, mate. When it all makes sense now, mate. They probably were going to mention it a bit later on down the line.
Yeah, so, I'd say it was probably going to be mentioned in December.
Yeah.
But now that it's gone really bad, they've gone and said that he's in.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to add Andy. Can't see you, Ginge. I don't know. Do you want to come in and out once more, mate? Try once more. Come in and out, mate. Yeah. Oh, you're in. He's in. Can you hear me? We'll give him a minute to settle in. But, it looks like a PR stunt.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you want to say something? You're not moving. Your images are not moving.
I think he's froze.
Yeah, come in and out, Ginge. Come in and out. Yeah, so need to.
Yeah, I just think that maybe. I think it's just to cover up some cracks at the moment. That's the Moyes.
Yeah. I mean, what we're saying, Ginge, is that it looks like a good PR stunt at the moment to cover up all the David Moyes. So I'm not too sure what's going on. What do you reckon then, Ginge?
Well, I've just watched the hello everyone, by the way. I've just watched the.
You want to go and mute Ryan a bit? If you want to go and mute, yeah. Let me see a bit. Yeah, go on, carry on.
I just watched the BT interview with Joey Cole, and he mentioned about the Harvard thing there, and he was supposed to do it just before COVID hit, and obviously because of COVID and whatnot, he said it was sort of a blessing in disguise because he got to do it. I think it was the first week of June, he said, in pre-season. So he's got to play, finished his career, and then got to do it in June. And then he's just gone on holiday with Carly and whatnot, and the kids. And he's come back and he's got all of his. He's done a 5-day course. So he's done the entertainment and football side of things. So yeah, I think it's a great appointment. Far too soon than I expected, but I think he misses the buzz. I think he's buzzing to be back, and I think as every West Ham fan we're buzzing to see him back.
Yeah, but he doesn't start till New Year, isn't it? So are they going to keep David Moyes on till 3 months, 3.5 months? And
what I hope doesn't happen is that they give Moyes until Christmas or whatnot. If he carries on the way he's going, then they get rid of him and bring Mark in, because that could ruin his legacy.
I tell you what. Let me show you something. Which I will again look into really clearly. But the league table. Let me just remove this comment. So the league table at the moment, mate. Palace have got a game in hand, and if they win that or draw, we're looking at 3 points adrift very soon. We're 2 adrift at the moment with worse, really bad goal difference, and another weekend of matches, mate, and we could be looking at being 3 points adrift at this stage, which. We've won 1 game in 7, and then we would win and still not move. So you see what I mean? Where are we going with this, mate?
Yeah, we're looking at trying to get back-to-back wins and putting pressure on ourselves already. It's not good.
That's the thing, mate. And let me just go through quickly the chats, and I'll show you something else. Formation. Well, the thing is, Peter, we don't know if how much a difference is that going to make in terms of changing things on the pitch. Nobody coming in. The thing that we're thinking about, Ginge, is that we understand supporting the manager's fine, good relationship with the owner, but the bit that it's like employ head of departments, maintain the scouting network, have some kind of an effect and influence on the playing philosophy of the club, and in the buying and selling of players in the market, mate. I don't know. Those 4 things. Are the board trying to claw back some control through Noble? Are they, mate?
Well, you've seen that Harry's gone since Noble's left. And it sort of briefly mentioned a little bit like that with Joey Cole. Obviously, with the poor start that he's had.
Right, no one's ever said that to you, have they ever?
No, normally it's more. Oh, you said Moyes out. Normally that's what it's always been since the Nottingham Forest game. Everyone's just been horrible. Me and
I
Alex
think
since the start.
this could be why some young players are going. I mean, you've got to give a little bit of a slack to the board, and maybe they're trying to say some of the things we are today, but it's not getting through. Like, young players.
He doesn't
are leaving.
play young people either, though. That's the problem. It's like Ashby. Why would Newcastle want him for 2 million if he was no good and we're not playing him? I don't get that. I just don't get David Moyes.
Considering all their money they've got as well.
Yeah.
That's
Downs. We're not playing Downs. It's like
nothing, mate. Nothing. Even Areola's. I don't know what he's doing.
Not even playing Schumacher. Only recognise.
He's going to destroy all of them. They're all going to be out of form by the time he starts playing them.
But the thing is, everybody in the world knows Antonio is not a striker, apart from David Moyes. That's it. I just can't be bothered with the bloke anymore.
I mean, these people have all come from a season last season where they've all been crucial at their clubs. Every single signing that's come through, they've all been great, and now they've been treated like, I don't know. It'd be okay if we're doing it right on the pitch, then you would understand it. That his regulars are doing it. They're not doing it. I'm like, he's dug himself a hole, mate. Stuff like that. It's just a bit weird. I don't get it, but it is. Hammerhead, good point. I don't think. Well, he says he's got a lot of brownie points, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. I mean, Chelsea. All those teams can sack managers when they won the league the year before and carry on improving. And Spurs sacked the kind of the Wolves guy, which is kind of about now. Another week or so, they sacked him and got Conte in, and then they got Conte in because they saw him he was available without no attachments, like a bit like Poch. So, but our club really kind of proactive and things like that, mate. But the thing for me, for both of you, is. What role will he have in the transfer window? Buying? Will he be there just to make sure the financial deals are done, or is he? What's going to happen there then?
I don't know. At the same time, we brought Rob Newman in to do that, didn't we? We brought him in for the transfers and to get all that. I don't think, in my opinion, that Noble is going to do much in that role. He was a good captain, but he's never been in charge of any financial and buying players in. It doesn't make sense. You bring someone in that knows that job and has done that job when at the moment we look like a sinking ship under David Moyes, but we've brought in someone with no experience and has never dealt with anything financially other than his house. So it's just
I'm surprised that he's coming back. I really thought he's going to take a year off, go around the world, mess about a bit, and he's just like, I've been missing him. I'm like, whoa, he's back already. Let's see what happens. Obviously, we don't know if David's going to be there in January. We don't know. And I can't. I mean, Ginge, can you see the form changing, mate? Can you see anything changing?
Well, it's got to get better, isn't it? If it gets any worse, then we're looking at one way only, and that's down in the Championship. So you've got to be somewhat optimistic. But I can see why everyone's jumping on the bandwagon at the minute, because the performances aren't there. The results are definitely not there. So something's got to give. Whether that's Noble coming in and putting his arm around Moyes, like you said before, someone's got to do something. And I think if anyone can spur anyone on, whether it's Moyes, whether it's the players, I think Nobes can't do any worse. Appointing Nobes back into the club, doing something, can't do any worse. I think it will uplift everyone. Everyone will be buzzing to have Nobes back. He can put his arm around people like Schumacher. He can put his arm around people like Lucas Paqueta and say, listen, he can teach those sort of players what West Ham are really about. whereas other players can't as much because Nobes has been there, he's done it, he's been there for 18 years, he's been through the highs and the lows. So who else better to come in and sort some players out?
It is, but it's just I mean, this comment makes sense to me. It's like, but then if the board, I mean, the board owns the whole club. They're not answerable to anyone. If they want to sack him, why do they need to do all these little steps to get rid of him? Just get rid of him. Why do you need to? Majority of the fan base, I would have thought, are tilting towards Moyes going now. I would have felt, especially after the last week or so. But so why are they scared of what the fans are going to do? Are the fans going to riot if we sack him? I don't think so. I don't know. It's a bit weird.
When does his contract run out? Is it the end of this season, isn't it?
That's what I'm hearing. I remember Frankie mentioning it. Yeah.
So if it's the end of this season, they shouldn't be. They've not got to pay a lot off. It's not like he's got another 5 years on it. Just get rid. I don't understand. Unless they're trying to run out his contract, and then Kretinsky at the end of the season is going to bring in his own man, which you don't know that could happen. But then I just think, why would you wait? I don't know why.
As Kretinsky number 2, and you look at the table in the bottom 3, you do not want to go even a little bit of a risk of going down. You know, I know the parachute payments are going up and up, but the money in the Premier League is going up and up like crazy. You've seen the transfer window, how much was spent. So I don't think you want to be risking anything by now. And it is a roller coaster, everyone. You think like we're too good to go down, nothing's going to happen. Look at our squad, but we've seen in the past, doesn't matter. You know,
2003, Jez, 2003. We had one of the best squads ever to go down.
So I think heads are going to go down. And the only thing going to happen now, which hasn't happened, about to happen, is the new signings, they're going to drop their heads soon. Not yet, but they're on the way. And then you've got the old guard who completely have lost it for a year anyway. And then the new guys, due to how they've been managed and looked after, they're losing the plot. And you got a great mix there, haven't you? And then you're playing catch up with the rest of the league, trying to at best finish in the bottom 10, I think. I don't know about going down. Mandy, how you doing?
That's why I think Nobes coming in will help settle some of those new players, some of those overseas players. Because look, when we got overseas players before, Nobes was the first one there as club captain. He was probably one of the first, even before the manager, to put his arm around players, to welcome to the club, teach them about West Ham, and help them feel settled and comfortable within the West Ham environment. And where obviously he hasn't been there, there's been no one else that can do that job. Not as good, nowhere near as good as what Nobes can do. He done it with Dimitri Payet when Slaven Bilic was there. He took on that role himself. I don't even think Slaven asked him to do it. I think because of he's so West Ham, I think he just wanted to do it himself. Being a club captain, being a West Ham boy from Canton, he put his arm around people like Jimmy and settled them. And I think Jimmy even said that in a brief interview that he done with French media. So it just shows the impact that Nobes can have. So bringing him back, like I said, should only benefit the new signings.
Yeah, it's just odd how he doesn't start his job till. Got some feedback again, Ryan, from you. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The picking up on the January, these players have joined now. They need to be encouraged now, not in another 4 months. That when Noble was there with Payet, that was straight away. That was as soon as. This is going to be 4 months down the line when their heads could already be gone. And I don't think Paqueta will. If we carry on like this, he will not be here next season. We've got one of the brightest talents, and we're doing nothing with him.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, if this carries on, I mean, I don't know if there's a chance Brazil might not pick him. Is there a chance? Well, Bowen's on the borderline now anyway, and Rice should be okay. But few players will begin to worry about the World Cup, about their form's been dipped and things like that. This could be the last roll of the dice in the board. I'm not sure, but sometimes when you make these decisions, everyone, I think you need a vote, don't you? Majority, maybe, like in the boardroom, to get rid of people or decide what you want to do next. Or does Sullivan's vote mean that he's got the equivalent of 2 votes? I can't remember how it works out. Now, usually it's just a vote, but maybe the vote just said not yet, like overwhelmingly, just giving one more chance. I don't know.
I've got a question for you two, yeah, and for everyone in the chat. With this £180 million that we've just spent in the summer, whose money do you think it is? Do you think it's Sullivan and Golds, or do you think it's predominantly more Kretinsky? Because as we're all hoping, as West Ham fans, we're hoping that Sullivan and Gold aren't going to be there as of the end of next season. Because by right, they can actually potentially sell from March 2023 without paying certain money back into the government and the LLDC and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they can actually buy the stadium without paying subsequent money back as well. So do you think this one last payout from Gold and Sullivan, hoping that it'll pay off? And this will lead to another point I'm going to make. Do you think they've sort of got Nobes in and now they're trying to hang on to Moyes a little bit because they don't want to waste that £180 million if it's Gold and Sullivan? They don't want to waste that £180 million they've just spent in the summer, and then because we've had a poor start, fuck David Moyes off.
I think it's a mix of the two. I think it could be 50-50. It could be 90 million from the new guy, 90 from the old guys. But the 90 from the old guys could be majority of the what
David Gold. Is he the old guy, is he?
He's number 3 now, and is he goal 3 now, is he? Something like that, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, as you said, they've always run it like a corner shop where whatever revenue we get in is what they spend, don't they? They rarely go above that. And it's only when something seriously goes wrong, like it did before Pellegrini, they dipped into their pocket. So
they're running it like a corner shop in terms of reduced section that they do with all of our players that we think we should be getting a little bit more for, and then they undersell to clubs, and then we overbuy for certain other players.
I think it's a bit of that, but don't forget, I think Kretinsky, when he did the deal just before the Liverpool game, I think he gave 40 million back into the club, which went back into paying the other two off, didn't it? So I think they're in a good position to finally go. They're gonna make 600% profit when they sell it. They bought it for 110 million. I think the deal's been valuing the club at 600 plus, which is nuts.
That's what they value it as. And
no, the option. So if Kretinsky takes the option, then that is what you're looking at. The share money that he's going to get back, Sullivan and Gold, it's going to be about 600 million, mate. That values the club at. They're going to get
with or without the stadium.
No, the way it is now. Because with the understanding that they know a lot of things. You know, these people hear things, and probably we're going to get the ground sooner or later. I think it can't carry on the way it is at the moment. There's arguments between both parties all the time about how much money. We obviously got a new prime minister in at the moment. She looks pretty hardcore to me. So, you know, all that kind of thing. The mayor, he hates West Ham anyway. They might just want to fight their own ways.
The worst one because he's sticking his 2 bob into it, and it's like
a Liverpool fan, isn't he?
Yeah. Everyone was happy. We've done it for £2 million a year. Then they kicked up a few years ago, and then we said, you know what? The deal's a deal. It's all in paper. It's all in writing. You fucked up. We got a good deal out of it. Everyone hates us for it anyway. Everyone around England because of taxpayers' money and whatnot. But they've already said they've lost so much money from it. They're losing like 15 million plus a year. This is the government and the LLDC and the council. They're all losing money out of it. Their main source of income for the stadium is West Ham United. So I think it makes sense for all parties just to let us have it. And so we end up giving them an extra $1 million a year, even though we had an original contract with them for $2 million a year, just because they kicked off and said, you know what, we'll give you an extra $1 million a year. So they got a 50% increase straight away. And we didn't have to do that.
Yeah. What about a comment there? You look like a young Steve Lomas, Peter's saying.
Oh, mate, I wish I could play like him.
Ginger Pele's him, yeah.
Yeah, well, now we've had Barnett chopped off. We can't be Andy Carroll anymore, can we?
I mean, going on to so we obviously... usually, scouting network, is that going to come under him? Is he going to? I think he's just going to be the messenger boy from the board to the manager, and I don't know what can he do in the scout? Will he be like, when we identify a player and we make the bidding? Is he going to be involved in sealing the deal? He hasn't got that kind of skill in financial deals.
I'll tell you a little something, Jazz, right? And I've only said this to a few people. When I worked on site, I worked on a marble arch job, literally right opposite the arch. And there was an 18-storey residential building. Nobes actually came round and walked around the whole site. And there's, what's the cheapest one? So it was a studio apartment, it was classed as, but it was bigger than an average flat. And it was going for 2 million, and everything inside from top to bottom was marble. And we actually see Moyes and his representatives walking around looking at the properties that were inside this building. And I already know that he's in the property game as it is. And I was thinking, well, he obviously isn't going to buy that for his wife and kids. That's something that he's either doing a business deal for someone else, or he's looking to make a profit on it himself. Maybe sell it to, because that's a very, like, W1 is at the bottom of Edgware Road. That's a very Araby area for a lot of Arabs by that area. And the price is basically on the postcode, being in West London. So is he doing a deal on behalf of someone, or is he looking to buy it himself and then sell on? Because he can't sell it to the Russians anymore, and that area is owned by Russian people, but obviously because of what's going on in the world at the minute.
No. He's part of him and Rio Ferdinand and one or two players. They're in a group. They got a company, mate. So that's how they buy it. Yeah. He's made a lot of money around Stratford, mate, around the ground. They bought them before we moved in or before the Olympics.
He's got his fingers in a lot of pies, then, isn't he? So
that's what I'm like. Yeah, you don't need to.
He's got some sort of financial background behind himself. He's sort of built up himself with his property business. So you never know.
I mean,
obviously football's a lot different to property. I'm not comparing the two, but in terms of background, can he negotiate? Maybe.
You know, I can't see this helping David Moyes. It might even make it worse. I got a feeling especially with David's personality, he can't force anyone to do anything. And if because we did that with Sam, and you saw how that ended up. We forced him. We forced him with Sacco, with Valencia, with Downing, and then they went all right. And then he's like, I don't know why he went back to his old ways, and it just didn't work out.
So do you not think this situation with Moyes is a little bit different, and he's got a bit more of a free rein with Golden Sullivan than someone like Big Sam had?
I think it's like some of these managers have got a really big head, aren't they? They're too proud. So if suddenly he listens and he does play well, I'm thinking he wanted to buy these players, and they really do well, and then his favourites on the bench. I don't know how he would take that. Like, if Cornet just pissed all over every match for now, how does he bring him back? I don't know why he loves him. So he's a bit proud, isn't he, mate? I don't know.
This is the thing. Like, he keeps playing like the likes of Fornells and Bowen when they're out of form, and it's like, surely you've got to give an informed man his place. Like, I think it was the Silk Ball game where Cornet came on and scored, or he done something. I can't remember now. He done something. And he wanted a place to play against Everton, I think it was, and he started on the bench. The same as Scamacca. All right, with Scamacca and Antonio, you can sort of start between the two, because since Scamacca's come in, Antonio sort of upped his game a bit. Regardless of what you think of him for last season, this is a brand new season now. It's in a different circumstance. He's got someone to battle his place with him. So with Antonio, he's obviously assisted a couple, he scored a couple already this season. That's a little bit different from him. Whereas Bowen and Fornell, I think they're keeping on to their places because of last season, and they're just so out of form. You've got to stage it up. You've got to stage up the starting 11. And if people like Maxwell Cornet is on form, why are we not starting him? They're the questions you've got to be asking. And I think Moyes should be in his ear, or someone has got to be in his ear and say, listen, boss, this is what's happening. You can't keep reverting back to the old ways that you're so familiar with, because it's not working at the minute.
Yeah, I mean, Moyes has got 2 more years, apparently, Mandy's saying. I don't know. Ryan, have you got any headphones? You got any headphones?
No,
Spare?
I don't, no.
I think you're getting feedback, on your one.
He's going to mess up the hair. He's got that Jack Grealish look down on the back.
Yeah, I think you're watching it with the audio on obviously getting feedback through that.
Yeah, I might be.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. It helps though when you put it on mute. Okay, so he's got 2 years left. Okay. Well, still not too much. I mean, managers on longer than that sometimes.
Options. Like he had before when he first came into his second stint.
I'm not sure.
He had that 18 months, didn't he? So they asked him to come back after he'd done that fantastic job the first time, and then they asked him to come back, and he said, "Well, listen, this is on my terms. I want 8 months as opposed to 6 months."
Peter wants the Godfather put a horse's head next to Oh mate, I don't know about that. Oh man.
Give him a bit of haggis. He might switch up his decisions a bit. Maybe.
Oh, no.
The only thing he can play is a 4-2-3-1. That's the only thing he can play.
Yeah,
the other day I said exactly the same thing. He plays the same formation. I mean, and then he's got newer players, and he still plays the same formation. You've got to switch it up.
Yeah. Well, we know he's going to play a 4-2-3-1 because he brought a left back on for a left back in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
So he's never going to switch anything. He can't even go to, I know, a free at the back in the last 2 minutes of a game. It's just
when you're chasing a game, yeah.
I mean,
the other day after the Everton game, when you're chasing a game, what's the point bringing Emerson on in the 90th minute? Like, you might as well keep Cresswell on, play him as the third back three, and let Emerson cause havoc, or even bring Emerson on as a winger because he's good attacking.
I mean, Trini, that question. Listen, we do care about who comes in after him, so that depends on who they bring in, and then we'll decide if he's a cheap alternative or is it someone a bit better. So that depends on. Obviously, you want someone better than David Moyes. That's the point of getting rid of him, isn't it? Really. So depends, mate. But I think we've got more than half decent squad for someone good to come in and do something a bit better with them. But Ryan, do you see anything changing for the next three games?
No, but with that comment before, just then, if the people that are Moyes out now, because they're eat humble pie or whatever was just said, we haven't been good for 10 months. And you're saying that the football since January in the Premier League you've liked to watch. Because nobody's liked to watch it because we've won no games. Actually, we've beaten Norwich, Villa and Everton. Wow. How good. That's such a really good Premier League run to have. Like, it's just ridiculous. We've lost to so many bad teams. We got smashed by Brentford. That was one of the ones away. I don't think we even had a shot on target against Brentford. We have been awful since January. So the Moyes out now, it's been for a long time and it's been coming in the Prem.
Okay, Glenn thinks that the money and the deal and the option, because there's an option to buy and an option to sell from both sides at a set price already. That's what values a club at 600+ million. And wasn't sure about the certain date, Glenn, so that's interesting. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe, mate. We'll see what happens.
Just quickly, on what Ryan's just said there, I think we're looking back at it now, between January and May in 2022, because of the cup runs that we had, predominantly Europe, and the lack of squad depth, I think everyone was talking about. Everyone was running to the ground. We played multiple competitions last season, domestic and Europe. And I don't think you can. I think you can excuse it a little bit. But the thing is, with the lack of personnel that we had and the fact that we had a great cup run, everyone was running to the ground. So looking back at it, I don't think we can, by right, go on that just yet.
The only reason I think we can is because how we've started these 8 games.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So if this carries on now up until, I don't know, the next 4 weeks, and we're still not performing and not picking up results, then I think, maybe so. Because now we have personnel. Well, we have better players.
We have depth. We have a bit of depth. We have more depth as well.
No. Well, I disagree because, and this is what I've always said in the last few years, we get rid of more players than we get in. If that makes sense.
I agree with that. But
so
I think we've got a bit
we
more
were moaning about our squad depth, and then we go and sell equally, if not one more, than what we've got in this summer. And I think that's so counterproductive of the club. We should have kept hold of some of those players that we got rid of, and still brought in the same amount, if not a couple more.
We should have brought in more players as well.
Yeah,
because we've got. I would still say we've got a bit more depth, as in quality-wise.
Quality-wise,
We've lost more bulk of players, but we've brought more quality players in that can cover areas. But I think we still needed more players in to cover certain areas, because then we can give people a rest and then play other players. But Moyes, obviously, he just likes defensive signings. Like someone put, Moyes brought in the first batch of players that were completely defensive, and I agree with that. Because we defensively we were poor, but now we've given him attacking players. Because I don't think they're Moyes signings, because he doesn't know how to use them clearly.
No.
So I think he just can't use attacking players. He likes to play on the counter attack.
But the thing is, when he was doing well, he used the attacking players very well. But then maybe they was more suited for the way he wanted to play. He sort of understood them as players better than he understands these new players, because it just thinks like Anderson and Haller all over again.
Yeah.
But
that's the
if
thing.
you know that,
Skamaka's going to be he's going to be Haller 2.0 because Moyes can't use it.
No fault of his own, because he is a top quality player.
Yeah.
But because exactly what you just said there, because he doesn't know how to use them.
No.
And I think he's going to ruin the likes of Lucas Paqueta.
That's why he likes Antonio, because he knows he can. Because Antonio can defend, Bowen can defend, Fornals could defend. So all going forward in a counter attack, it was good because they could all come back and defend. But now Paqueta doesn't want to defend. Skamaka doesn't want to defend. They all want to play offensively, and he doesn't know how to balance that. And we've already been picked off. We already know that we're going to counter attack every team and sit back, like Antonio said. And it's 1-0. We still sit back and we hope it doesn't go to 2-0, and then we play for a 1-1 and try and It's just stupid. We've not got the squad for that now, and it's never ever been a West Ham that I've known that anybody's known to just sit back and allow pressure the whole time.
I think the Everton team was that was a bad Everton team, innit? They got their first win and got a clean sheet. They were laughing, weren't they, mate?
I'll tell you what the difference was. The heart, determination, motivation. That's sometimes the lower league teams have beaten teams like Premier League teams because of their determination, their heart, their passion, their drive in that game. They obviously wanted it more. There was first to every ball. They went in hard on every challenge. They got their crowd up. Obviously, they was at home, and from minute one, I think they put someone up in the air. Crowd loved it. That's what we need to start doing. We need Julian Dix back.
Yeah.
But he is also like in the normal world, and he has been at the club, 2-3 years, and maybe a bit longer in the two spells. What you ideally do is you bring in about 2 every window, really good players. But because the last 2 windows only Zuma hit the first 11, then we're playing catch up. And I've heard was it 9-10 players who are coming out of contract the summer coming up now next year as well. Another 10 like Cressy and all them lot. I don't know. They're telling Lanzini to get lost, aren't they? Like, find yourself a club. He ain't going to buy. He's on good whack, mate. He ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, why would he leave when he's getting a good pay?
No way. He's like, no. He ain't going to go anywhere, you know?
It's like Arsenal saying it to Aubameyang or Ozil. No one.
But that deal. But the club didn't charge him money, did they? Arsenal when he went to Barcelona, and the cheeky sorts of Barcelona, they got 20. How much money they got from Chelsea? Like less than a year later. That's so cheeky, isn't it?
Just seen 11 players out of contract in the summer.
Yeah, and then we lost 14 this summer, I think, something like that.
But then we've let some stupid one go, like Elise. He's quality. Why did you let him go?
I don't think they want to stay around. They're like, we're going. I don't know. True. It could be a bit of that. I don't know.
Under Moyes because he doesn't give the youngsters a chance.
If you're a youngster and you're not being played for one, you're not being given a chance, and you're being told you're going, you're going to be like, all right, I'll go something like at least they've gone to Sunderland. Yeah. You know he's going to play. He's got somewhat of Premier League experience, at least with training with the first team of a Premier League club. So he's going to be more used to them, and he knows he's going to get more game time. And I hope he does well. But I'm like you, Ryan. Silly things that we do to get rid of youngsters.
Yeah, they're our future, and we just get rid of them. I don't get it. I do not get it. That's like back in the day. If we'd have just got we did kind of get rid of them, but if we'd have just got rid of Lampard and just got rid of all of them, it would have just been stupid. It's just I just don't get it. We've never been a club that never plays our academy players.
Jez is doing the okey cokey there.
I like this one the best. No, this one. Yeah. Daniel. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. It is. Bilic needs to sort his dodgy. Bilic, forget about Bilic. God bless him. No, he's.
I just saw a comment as well. Say, where is it? Let me see where it is. I need to find it. Someone said that we were the best team in the Europa League that was left. How were we the best team if we didn't win it? We weren't the best team. We couldn't have been the best team, otherwise we'd have won it. We lost to
Listen,
Frankfurt. It wasn't
I
even that
tell
good.
you what, right? If he did all the hard work. If he just did a bit more like we all told him, we would have got into the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
If we got Rice's replacement as a backup when he went and got injured, he didn't bother. Somehow he got Lingard in. I don't know why, and we saw that kind of push we had, and then one or two in January, and we would have gone close in the Europa, I think.
Yeah. But
they got too tired, the players, didn't they?
Yeah, that is another thing, that they didn't have enough depth to cover where there was.
But it's so silly. I mean, it looks like is he deliberately trying to mess the players up and go back to the board and say, there you go, the ones you gave me didn't work, did it? I don't know.
Yeah, that could be the thing. Or
It's crazy.
There could be a bit of, you got rid of me and got Pellegrini in to try and push on, and then you came back to me. That he doesn't like that, and he's trying to just get one back on us for that. There's always that.
I want to ask you both questions. First of all, you, Ryan.
Yeah.
His excuse is that even now, maybe he thinks Scamacca ain't match fit to do 90 minutes, right?
Yeah,
and he doesn't think.
If we had Haaland, he probably wouldn't start him. He'd say he'd need to bed him in. So Pep Guardiola, who's arguably one of the best managers ever, just threw Haaland into the Premier League. No experience in there. He played a Community Shield against Liverpool. That's it. And he chucked him in there. And look how well he done. But we can't play Scamacca. I just don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah. Ginger, what do you reckon? Like, Scamacca ain't fit yet. Cornet, who's obviously kicked in the Premiership last season, ain't fit. And
it's excuse after excuse after excuse, isn't it? It's like when you was a kid at school. Where's your homework, Mr. Smith? Oh, well, my dog ate it. It's a poor excuse. He says that, and then it goes and plays in Europe, and then drops him for the Premier League.
Mm.
Whether what he meant to say was he's not fit enough for the Premier League yet, that's a different story. But he didn't say that. He said he's just not ready, he's not fit. So how can you then play him in Europe? He then scores or gets an assist, and then doesn't start in Premier League.
Yeah. But then how can you say somebody's not Premier League fit and not give him any Premier League time? You give him 30 minutes with nothing up top.
And this has always been my excuse, right? So fitness and match fitness are completely two different things. If you are fit, doesn't necessarily mean you're match fit, but he obviously is match fit because he played in Europe.
Yeah.
And how do you get someone's experience if you don't give them the chance?
No.
And it's like when a school leaver, I mean, I remember when I left school, which 30 years ago probably now, but I'm not that old. But when you first leave school and you go to apply for your first job, and they go, well, do you have any experience? And you say, well, obviously not, just left school. Oh, well, we're looking for someone with experience. How am I supposed to get experience if you don't give me the opportunity?
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
What about the form of everyone, isn't it? Bowen, Souček, Fornals, even everyone's. There's not one person who's kind of doing all right. It's all kind of happened together now, isn't it? Really.
Imagine Scamacca scores tonight for Italy. That would be the best.
Well, Ryan, if we didn't sign him, he would be playing for the team he's with. He's fit. He played all the last season.
Yeah, he's 100% fit. It's just that Moyes is too stubborn to play him because he wants to play Antonio, who's not a striker, instead of an actual striker.
Why not play Antonio out wide? Because the two wide men at the minute are literally not up to it. They're not in form at all. And Antonio is a workhorse. That's why he likes to play him. And so are the two wide men. So drop one of the wide men, put Antonio out there because you know he's a workhorse as well. That's what Moyes like. And keep the back up there. And then when we go offensive, Antonio can then sit back, come more central, and then the likes of Emerson play left back. He can then run up the wing.
Yeah, but I just don't get it. I get that Antonio's in good form. I get that. I understand why he is ahead of Scamacca at the moment because of the form. But he's not a striker. Play him on the wing and let Scamacca have a go.
Yeah, 100%.
What's the worst that's going to happen? We're going to lose another game.
Yeah, at least we tried something different. Yeah. It's better trying something else and then failing than it is just to keep doing the same repetitive shit that's not working anyway.
Yeah, literally.
Anyone listen to this podcast, Antonio? I've listened to it in the past, not the recent ones.
I've heard the bit at the end, the 1-0 bit. I've seen snips of that.
What podcast is this?
He appears on this podcast quite regularly, Antonio. Last season, he spoke about how he started his career, and I forgot the name of it. Yeah,
Is this the one with what's her face? The
There's
bird
two.
that supports Arsenal.
There's two of them in there. There's two lads in there with him. Yeah, and then he just goes on there quite a lot. Yeah.
Oh, so it isn't the one with what's her face? The bird that supports Arsenal.
I
Theo
think just,
Baker.
Who?
Theo Baker.
No. You know the
the
bird.
Chelsea one. The Chelsea one.
No, she normally does talk sport as well.
Oh,
I forgot her name now.
Don't know. Just type it in. I don't know, the Spotify or whatever.
I've seen him do like an interview with her, and I think maybe she was accompanied by Akafemwa, maybe.
Don't know. We'll have a look. The other thing is, both of you probably don't realise sometimes that even last season and certainly this season, we've nearly got a fully fit squad apart from Johnson and is it one other maybe? So if we're in this situation with a nearly fully fit squad, I don't know if we lose one or two others, what's going to happen? I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly when he's supposed to be back.
Who's that?
Aguerd.
Oh yeah. Him and Johnson, I think, are the only ones. I think Dawson's back now. So
we need him back. We really need him.
I don't know nothing about him, Ryan. We don't know, do we?
I watched the AFCON, and he was, oh my God, he was so good. He caught up with Salah, was in front of him. I think going past the halfway line, Aguerd got all the way back and got to the goal line and cleared it off the goal line. But he was amazing.
He's fast, yeah. He's quite fast.
He's
very
really
good.
quick.
You can bring it out, can't you?
Out from the back, and if we can play Carrera at right back, because Kufau might be the worst player I've ever seen wear a West Ham United shirt. He is awful.
Well, even worse than Jonathan Spector.
Spector scored didn't he score a hat-trick against Man United, didn't he?
He scored two. Him and Colton Cole scored two each.
Kufau can't even kick a ball. He's awful.
Yeah, no.
Can't cross. When I was at the FCSB game, and he got the ball, every ball it was over. It was over. It was too short. It was to the goalkeeper. It was out for a goal kick. It was for a throw-in. It was like, what is he doing?
Giving the ball away, yeah. A simple 5-yard pass, and he couldn't make the pass.
He's awful.
Yeah. I mean, Mandy, this question, that means we would have been in the Champions League. Then I think we would have been happy. I think even now, could have forgiven him. Yeah.
Have you just seen the bottom comment? Kufau lost the ball 28 times against Everton. 28.
No, it's 27. No.
I wouldn't lose the ball that much time on the pitch.
I'll tell you what, right? I said about this after the Everton game to you, Jez, didn't I? About how bad Kufau was. And I like the geezer. I don't know what it is. I like sticking up to him. But I can't defend him at the minute because he's been shocking. And I think I can't remember what platform it was or who it was, but someone said that he got, I think it's West Ham man of the match. I was like, are you sure?
Against Everton?
Yeah.
He slipped over 3 times.
What? I thought I was watching a different game. I thought I'd done too many of Jazz's runs.
It made Iwobi look like Ronaldinho, let alone be the best player.
I know. It's crazy. I couldn't believe my eyes when I read it.
So I don't know if Antonio's going to be told off for what he said. Dan says he's kind of clearing up what his tactics are, which is to just sit back. And you could see against Spurs, Ginge, we would have done them if we went for them and Chelsea were there for the taking, and we just sat back. And I'm like, are we waiting to score? And I was fuming at the ground. And I'm like,
let's be fair, playing one of the favourite top 6, big 6 teams, we're not going to get anything. I mean, look at that Chelsea game. We deserved a minimum of point.
I mean, let's quickly round up. I mean, I'll start then Ryan, and so for me, Noble in terms of David Moyes and what we're doing doesn't change anything for me. Well, he starts in January. That's a reasonably couple of months. That's a long time in football. Sometimes that's 7-8 games maybe sometimes. So it doesn't change anything. Going forward, the key things for me in this role is how much the manager would like him to manage the scouting network and then manage the transfers, whatever that means, which is, I don't know, mate. That's a key question for me. In terms of David Moyes' next 3 games, tactics, I think, Ooh, that's a tough because I think we might get a win somehow out the one, but doesn't mean we're gonna go on a great run or anything like that. But
Definitely been on the run if you think we're going to win.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
I think the way we are, we're very open at the back, and if we get our Cornet Skamaka on, we should have goals in us as well, and with Paqueta as well. It's going to be a roller coaster. It could be a lot of 3-3, 3-2s, 4-2s. I don't know, because every time the opposition crosses into our box, it's all over the place, mate. Anyone can have a shot. It could go in or hit someone. Carers all over the place. One or two other things. We got
I
new
like Ferrer, though.
Yeah, but I think
Quite
it's
good.
a hard. It's a tough league, and he's been obviously thrown
He's
in
better
straight
at
away.
fullback as well. He plays fullback for Germany. He's better there.
Free at the back, he's absolutely
Yeah, he'd be quality
amazing.
there as
Wing
well.
back, amazing. Right back, yeah, could be something in there.
Mm.
1 or 2 at the back, not quite there at the moment. So for me, I think we're going to struggle. Whether we get but these targets, I mean, we're talking about it. The board haven't said it. The board has said there's no chance. But when you do set 3 targets, what do you do if you just scramble a fluky win? Do you just carry on for another 4 or 5? I don't know. It's difficult for me for David Moyes to come back and certainly improve on the previous 2 seasons. And what do we do, really? So, Ryan, yeah, those 2 things. Does Noble coming in change anything for you? Or what's the next 3 games going to happen, mate?
It's in January. He's not going to be able to do anything now. He can't do anything right now. And we're in a deep, deep hole right now. Not in January. We're in it right now. So can we bring him in earlier? Maybe, because it's been announced we might be bringing him in earlier instead of January. You never know. But my main points for David Moyes is play Ashby when he's back, because he is our best right back. Don't play Susek anymore because he's awful. And give Skamaka and Cornet a go up top. Just change what you're doing. That's all that I think from David Moyes.
But we don't know if that's going to happen. If it does happen, will it be immediate results, or will he give them 59 minutes like he does?
Yeah.
So when his players are playing crap, they stay on the pitch. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when he plays get off, you know.
Fornals, who runs with a limp, can still play, but Paqueta, no, he gets taken off in the 60th minute.
Yeah. What about you, Ginge?
Similar point to Ryan there. I think Moyes has got to change his tactics. It's obviously not working. You've got to bed in some other players into the starting, some offensive players, should I say, bed them into the starting 11 because they're obviously playing well. They're in form. How can you reward someone by putting someone on the bench after they've just played fantastic in a European game? All right. In comparison to Premier League and that kind of official to the game, it's completely different because you're playing things like footballs and out of the correct. But they're still playing well. They're still performing better than anyone is in the starting 11 at the moment. So why are you not playing them and starting them in a league game? So Moyes has got a big thing to think about now. Does he stick with what he knows and what he's familiar with and his stubbornness, basically? Or does he think, right, I need to switch it up. The pressure is on now from the fans, from the board, from the media. Everyone is starting to question Moyes. So if I'm Moyes, I'm thinking, right, I've got to have that balance. Yeah. Let's think about this logically. The 2 wide men are not performing. Do I stick Antonio out wide because he's a favourite player of mine? There's a possibility he can do that. Will that work? It can do. Play Skamaka up top. You can even play Antonio on the other wing, on the right. And because obviously he's right-footed and let him cut that.
Yeah.
And that right side into the Bowen.
Yeah, but rest Bowen. Yeah, rest him. Yeah.
And then you can play Cornet on the left, or vice versa. You could tell both of those players halfway through the half, either half, swap wings if you want to, just to give the opposition fullback something to think about, so they don't get too comfortable in the game. And then your central midfield, you've got to have Rice. A lot of people say Rice and Downs might not work, but then you can have Rice and Downs and then Paqueta in front. So give Paqueta that free roaming area to play anywhere across that number 10, from the number 10 to out wide, and pick the ball up and make something happen. Like the Lanzini of old, like Dimitri Payet. Give him that free role and let the wide men do the running and let Skamaka run straight through the middle and at least the 2 centre-backs some havoc. Some
What,
havoc
what about the possibility of completely get rid of Souček for now because he's just not doing anything?
Please.
Put Paqueta in there next to Rice, and then you got the luxury of the three you are behind the one. You could even pick Ben Rama in there. So
that's what I thought we was going to do. I thought we were going to play Rice holding, Paqueta as an 8, and then we were going to have Ben Rama, Cornet, Bowen, Skamaka. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Why not play, if he wants to stick with a 4 at the back, why not play a 4-1-3-2? Or a 4-1-4-1.
Yeah.
If you want to play one up top, but you want to play 4 at the back, there's other ways of doing it. Rice is capable to sit. He obviously last season he was a bit.
He was doing two people's jobs anyway, Ginge, with Souček. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So he can also have another central midfielder to drop in on the defence, or if not both other central defenders dropping defensively when we haven't got the ball to help them out. So it effectively becomes a three-man centre mid off the ball. Yeah, but then going forward, we can play that 4 at the back if Moyes wants to play the 4 at the back, and then he can play Declan Rice on his own in between the 2 banks of 4. Yeah, and then we've still got the 4 and the 1 to go in attack.
Yeah,
if he wants to play with one up top again with his stubbornness. So there is other ways of doing it, but I just don't know what Moyes is saying. I don't know where his logic is.
But this comment, I think. It's kind of what Sid's saying, and it could be that the dressing room's already lost against Everton.
It's gone. It's so gone.
Yeah.
Moyes has lost the dressing room. Everyone can see he's lost the dressing room. Nobody on that pitch cares. Nobody cares. So clearly he's lost it. Everyone's just walking about, moping about. They're just there to make up the numbers. Nobody's there because they want to play football.
Yeah. So it looks like we're kind of. Yeah, we're not very confident for the next 3 games, and Noble doesn't really make any difference at the moment. What's going on? I'm just going to go through the comments, and then we'll call it quits. We've been going 55 minutes. Yeah, Wenger, we trust. Any names, Ginge, you like? Any managers out there you like, mate?
Yes, but we're not going to get them. They're too big for West Ham at the moment. Because like you said, like you've got to better David Moyes if you're going to get rid of him. There's no point going sideways or backwards in manager-wise unless they've got a certain ethos and a target in their head how they want West Ham to play. So you've got to look for ones that are available, like Chelsea manager.
Tuchel's never going to come to us, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people are talking about Poch. He's never going to come.
I don't know about Poch. The only thing that gives me a bit of faith with Poch is that when he joined Tottenham, we're not a worse state in league form, but a worse state with players. We've got better players than he had with them when they started.
Yeah. But he didn't want to even go to Man United.
No.
And that's got. I know they're in dire straits. Obviously, picked up a little bit now, but in world football, Man United are one of the biggest teams in the world.
Yeah.
Why would you not want to go there and be the hero and try and sort them out? If he can do the job that he done at Tottenham with nowhere near the amount of decent players that he had at the time, think of what he could do with Man United, because they're in the same sort of boat as Tottenham were when he went to Tottenham. So he could have gone there and lit up the Premier League and been a hero again. But,
I think we need a young manager, though. Like Bayern Munich, then I don't know how to say it, Nagelsmann.
Yeah.
However his name is. I think if he does leave Bayern Munich, because that's what the rumours are, that they don't want him anymore because they've lost, 4 games. What a shame. And if we got him in, I think that would be a really good one. But even though it's all because he wasn't good at Everton, I think Marco Silva would be brilliant. He just plays attacking football. He did that with Everton, but they had an awful defence. He tried to play football for Everton, attacking football, but they were just rubbish at the back. And at Fulham, he's that defence isn't, if Diop's playing, it's awful, but he's got it a lot better, that Fulham defence. And he's playing good football, very good football for Fulham.
Poch is in chat talks with Nice. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Sporting Lisbon, a couple of people coming up with him.
Yeah, he's good. And the Celtic manager, he looks like he's quite good as well. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I know he's foreign, but he looks quite good as well.
Good. Anyway, we're going to call it a close. I want to thank you two for joining in, and then this news kind of came out of nowhere. So yeah, it's kind of breaking news and international break. Not for me. I'll just keep away from football, I think, for a week or so. And
don't want to watch Southgate, Jesus.
But next game, yeah, I mean, it'd be very interesting to see what.
Don't you want to watch a doppelganger?
Our club drains me, Ginger. You know that. I like to keep as much time away as if I can. And
I might watch the Italy game if Scamacca's playing.
Do a bit of scouting.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you in the chat. It's very, very busy. Thank you too. Ryan, get headphones, you young man. Get some headphones. It helps. It helps.
Get an Alice band as well.
Yeah, I'll tie my hair about that.
That'd be quality.
Anyway, take care. Have a good day, and then we'll catch up in a couple of days, or if there's any more breaking news, we'll be on sooner. But yeah, have a great day, and thank you everyone in the chat. Take care.
See ya.
Bye. Bye.